She not only had experience, but she was more qualified. She was older, whereas this chick, the beautiful one from the US, was a graduate. She had never done anything. As soon as she graduated university, she like went off to Korea. So she had frankly no experience other than the experience that she had in the first job that she got in Korea. Whereas this other girl had been in the game for a minute. And they passed her up for the more beautiful girl because of her mugshot. I say it's a mugshot because it's like you're going to jail. Anyway, they took her rather based on no other thing but beauty. Apparently they hire people on no other thing but beauty. Well, not no other thing. If you, of course you suck, if you bite, if you can't do the job, if you drop the ball, then you'll get fired. But it's gonna be hugely advantageous to you to be typically pretty. So I'm kind of hoping that I have that going down for myself, even though I have got age as a bias against me. Nonetheless, if at all God is doing it and it's gonna run smoothly. I don't know. But we're talking now, right? About my degree or lack thereof. Apparently I'm gonna have friends. Apparently I'm not only going to, or a friend, somebody with whom I'm going to be just, you know, stuck together like a stitch in a garment. That's going to be the one to whom I'm a linchpin, and the one that is also a linchpin to me. Like just basically support system. I'm gonna have that. And maybe not even from one person, but right now I'm just looking forward to the one friend, okay? Because God showed me I'm not going to be alone. I'm not going to be like K-Explorer walking around all over South Korea by myself. Because I did that nice and long in South Africa. And frankly, I'm tired. I know that God is always with me, but it is not good for man to be alone. Therefore, God made a helper suitable for Adam. Adam walked with God in the cool of the day, but like he needed Eve. He needed Eve. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I need my proverbial Eve. Like, I need a friend. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. As in a real human being. I know God is real, and I know that he is fully God, fully man, Jesus. But I've been with him for 12 years, and he knows I need people. In the same way that Adam could not only hang out with some buck, deer, and lions, but he needed Eve. God knows I need somebody made in the image of God with whom to walk these streets. Be it a female friend, and if it's a man, it's gotta be my husband. You understand what I'm saying? A future husband, whatever. Okay, cool beans and bananas. So God shows me when I was watching K-Explorer's video where he was looking nice and lonely, that I'm not gonna be alone. Verifying that I'm going to Korea. At this point, I've already given up on Korea because I don't have a degree, right? I've already given up. So I keep seeing fans of South Korea. Not fans. Why did I say fan? Maybe it's because there's one in the background over there just whirring. I keep seeing flags of South Korea. So God is verifying, even after I throw in the towel, I give up on the prospect of South Korea. Frankly, I give up on the prospect of teaching English as a foreign language in a physical location in a different country altogether. I give up. I give up. And I say that once I get my TEFL certificate, I will try to build for myself an online followership on Preply or Cambly or whatever. That's what I will do. I definitely am not going to be out on a limb without money for the rest of my life. But all this traveling that I thought I was going to be doing, I'm not going to be able to do it. And South Africa, while I wanted to leave, it looks like I'm not going anywhere. It looks like I am not stepping, skedaddling, either bouncing, hopping, skipping anywhere. Okay, so I mean, therein lies that their thing, doing its rounds in the kitchen. And I'm like, yo, what in the world? And I got so despaired. I got so despaired. And I just kept listening to, because I was despaired, I decided that I'm going to listen to horror stories coming out of South Korea of people that either got abused, lambasted, scratched, whatever, in the hagwons and hogwons or hagwon, I don't know how they pronounce that, in the rural areas, how they got spat on in the trains, in public, how they got shoved and pushed and got told to go back to their countries. I made myself listen to essentially all different kinds of foul reports about South Korea so I can make myself feel better about not being able to go there because I don't have a degree. I was bitter because initially I was very excited. So I left myself to listen to horror stories, and all they did was make me even more macabre. They made me even more despaired and despondent. Because at the end of the day, while I'm happy to move on from something that can't happen, I was really excited about this thing. So therefore, to try and defame it by listening to horror stories is not going to do anything for me. I kept on inquiring of the Lord, why would you deceive me? Therein lies, God, I was sounding like Jeremiah. Remember Jeremiah asked God, why did you deceive me? After prophesying one time, and they then put him in a public square and taunted him and humiliated him. And when he came back, he was like, why have you deceived me? I felt that way, like Jeremiah. Why have you deceived me with a dream showing me Seoul in a billboard? And why do you continue to deceive me with all these flags of South Korea that I get in flash visions? Why are you deceiving me? I can't go there. I don't have a degree. I also don't have the 2-year thing that I can give them a transcript, because in order for me to get that very transcript, I gotta have my fees fully paid at Wits University. Why did you deceive me? Yeah, well, I mean, of course, if a Christian is out here asking the Lord, why did you deceive me? They don't actually mean, why did you deceive me? It's a rhetorical question that can never ever be met with any kind of decent answer from God. It's a lamentation. Because God can't deceive anyone. He's not a master of falsities. He is God. He's honest. He's He's God, he is honest, and he is truth. So God doesn't deceive. But every so often as Christians, we get shown prophecies. Like Jeremiah was given prophecies and he prophesied. And then he got persecuted for those prophecies. And his response to God was, why have you deceived me? And I found myself asking God, why have you deceived me? Why did you allow me to tell people that I'm moving to South Korea when I can only ever teach English online in my bedroom? Why have you deceived me? And after asking God, why have you deceived me, despite him telling me that I'm not going to be alone in Korea? Because before I left myself to listen to what it takes to teach in Korea, I first watched exciting videos about everybody commenting on their experiences over there. And I got myself all juiced. And then I finally found out from one video that you need a degree. And I was like, why did you deceive me? So I got sad and I started to listen to horror stories of people that would never ever go to Korea to comfort myself, but instead it made me feel worse. And in this season, I kept seeing not flashes, what do you call this, flags of South Korea. In visions, I would wake up and just continue to hear the word Seoul. Like I'm still going to Seoul in particular. A nation that is ageistic the way that it is. It's homogenous. Yes, they're gonna stare at me. So I mean, that's something that I was expecting already. They have got exceptionally high standards of beauty. I think I'm pretty, but when I get there, I'm gonna feel ugly. And because I'm as old as I am, more so am I gonna feel ugly. I'm excited though about the fact that I'm going to use public transportation, and apparently there's a lot of hills, peaks and troughs, and a lot of walking over there. And I've been complaining that I'm getting nice and fat, so I will lose weight quickly because I don't eat a lot. However, I've been sedentary, so the country will force me to walk. Therefore, when I get to Korea, I will finally get down to the size that I prefer to be. So that's the one thing that I look forward to. In WT, I'm going to be forced to just walk a lot in a way that I just don't do that right here in my country anymore. I work out, and I would work out in my own apartment. That's how I work out. I dance to work out. So I would continue to do that and also take all those walks across the country. And because when I get there, I don't think I'm going to continue to fast every single day like the way that I'm doing right now. I will only fast twice a week just as a matter of discipline. If I maintain my fasted lifestyle twice a week, and I walk that much, and I also exercise 5 days a week, there is no way that I'm going to be as chubby as I presently feel like I am chubby right now. Okay, like listen, I'm gonna lose weight. I don't care what people say about metabolism over 40. I won't stay this size. I will not stay this size. Some people might argue that I'm not fat, but I like, listen, I know myself. I'm not where I want to be. And if a country's gonna help me lose weight, then great. Okay? Because right now I'm having such a difficult time finding motivation. However, I do think that I'm gonna lose weight even before I get there, because motivation is gonna come my way once I'm finally making money, and I'm gonna start making money where? Say it with me now, children, South Africa. Remember, I told you guys that in my other videos, because I get all these prophecies, and all of them, I ask myself, how can they possibly be true? All in one fell sitting. I had said that God showed me that before I get married to my husband, I am going to be independent in South Africa, living in my own apartment in South Africa. I said that. You will remember, right? But then if I'm going to South Korea, at what point am I going to be independent living in my own apartment in South Africa? I then come to learn that I have to have a degree in order to teach in South Korea. So therefore, it must mean that there was going to be a season of time from now until then, where it is that I'm going to get my degree. And I'm not going to get my degree by studying for 3 years at UNISA or whatever. Remember, I have a degree. I have one. But one thing is missing. Stats. If I'm going to get a BCom. But if push comes to shove, if push comes to shove, I can take business statistics either through UNISA and still graduate with WITS, or graduate with WITS by doing that subject at WITS at all these 45 years of, why do I keep saying 45? At all these 42 years of age, study at WITS, finish, graduate, and then go on right ahead and do what I need to do. And of course, if at all my fees are paid off, that's when then I can start to talk with WITS. And according to the Lord, he's been saying to my ear, favor, 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 favor. And I'm like, what, are you going to give me favor in Korea for me to teach English over there without a degree? I'm not that special. Remember what I said about a nation. Don't bring down your standards in order to accommodate foreigners. If foreigners strive for your level of excellence, then on that day take them on board, because they're going to improve your country. So I'm not going to sit here and think that I'm so special and so spectacular that Korea is going to ignore its criteria to bring English teachers into its country because I'm so godly and God has favor for me. Ignore the need for me to have a degree. They won't ignore it. And that's something that I realistically understood was a thing. I realistically understood it. So I was like, God, when under heaven am I going to get a degree? Are you telling me that I'm going to have to go and register with UNISA and start from year 1, 2, 3? You do remember that I'm 40 again. Herein lies me asking God, have you deceived me? And me asking God, you do remember that I'm 41, right? You do remember I'm 42. I ain't got no time to be doing a degree from scratch now. Well, all this got a sister nice and despaired, freezing, frozen like an icicle. And I was despondent, and I knew that the only way to overcome this despondency was to come here and talk. I just knew it. I knew that God would give me answers here. It's the only space. But I'm not going to post any of this content because I'm not going to parade myself in front of monsters. but these are the steps that I need to take in order for me to get what I need to get. So how in the world am I going to get this done? I've already made a decision and God has already gone before. Remember I told you, I said in my other video, I think you're going to have to watch content from my old content, my last video. I said that if something is what God is doing, it's going to run swimmingly, it's going to run smoothly, it's not going to be met with chock-a-blocks. There are not going to be any hindrances. That's how you know you've met with breakthrough. That's how you know that something that you are now being told to do by God is the final solution. Everything else was your idea. Everything else that was a plan, a strategy, a tactic that you embarked on was your own flesh. It was your own attempt to try and get out from your sorrow while it was still your season of testing. But when the Lord is bringing you deliverance and your breakthrough, things are going to run so smoothly like a hot knife, a warm knife through butter. They're just going to fall into place. You know that scripture that says, the lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. That's how you know that something is from God. Now, what in the world are the things that have happened? Over here, studying English, you learn so very many things. And you take for granted that your fluency, there is a back end that works into making the language what it is. Like, getting a subject-verb agreement. When I was studying that, though I didn't need to, though I thought I had to, I remember just thinking, when you speak English, it just comes so naturally to you to understand that if your verb is in plural, then your subject can only be in the first person singular. He has spoken very many words. It's words and it's spoken, but your verb is in the what do you call this? It's a past participle. No, it's not a past participle, but it's verb too. It's verb plus ed, right? Spoken. I guess that's an irregular verb because it would then on that day be speaked. But when you come to learn as well, that you drop a s in certain spaces where your subject is in the single form, but your verb must be plural. And certain things, like these things just come to you naturally. And when you speak, you just flow. You flow. When you speak, you just flow. You don't have to think about it twice. But people who don't have your grammar, your same grammar rules, these things don't just come to them. They don't just come to them. And that's why this is such an exciting thing for me to do, because I realized that it was so easy for me. It is so easy for me to speak English, but really the back end of how the language works is a marvel that I just love to stare at. It's the weird fascination that coders, developers have with ones and zeros. It all looks very onerous and tiresome to all of us. We just look at the GUI, the graphical user interface. But these people are fascinated with the numbers behind the system. I am now so fascinated with the numbers behind the English language that I can't do any other thing but teach it. I can't. Listen, I am so fascinated. I'm so fascinated. It's to a point where now I no longer want to use ebonics in my speech because I do that a lot, and because it's just too slangy, And I also no longer want to use bad grammar deliberately just for the sake of being casual in how I speak, because I've just got so much more respect now for what the foundation and the building blocks of the language. I just feel like, why do you want to go and destroy language? Such a subject, the king. Why do you want to go and destroy English, even though its grammar is bizarre in comparison to other dialects, which are much easier and a lot more sophisticated and better, frankly, than English. Nonetheless, as an English speaker, with this being the global lingua franca, now that's the one that I have been given as a native speaker of English, being South African and everything. And I'm glad that I know it. And now that I know the intricacies, I'm learning the intricacies behind it. I'm just like, how can I not teach this thing? And why do I want to ruin perfect language with slang? Like, I know that slang is part of how the common man on the street speaks, but I've always had a fascination with literature, with script, with language, with speaking. That's why some people regard me as verbose, but I think I'm just a great orator. And that's why I can use so many metaphors and so many adjectives to describe one thing. That's why I use so many words. And that's why when somebody drops a word from their lip and I don't know what it is, I research it immediately so I can one day use it. Like right now on my Google search page, there is something there that I searched yesterday when I was watching something from from one of these Bible channels that I watch to gain edification about what's going on, about what happened in biblical times. And there is a term that I encountered called folk etymology. And I looked that up and I was like, listen, I have to find somewhere to slot that in one day, because I didn't even know what that was, right? Where's my mouse? I didn't even know what folk etymology was. And folk etymology occurs when speakers reshape an unfamiliar or foreign word into a more familiar, intuitive form, or invent logical stories to explain its origin. And this here was used in a video where I was listening to the origins of Ishmael, Abraham's son with Hagar. And there was something that the narrator was speaking about, that then made him use the phrase folk etymology, the noun phrase of folk etymology. While and like folk etymology are two different words, I would never have historically used the terminology noun phrase to describe it, and neither would I have understood that that's exactly what it is, like a noun phrase. It's folk etymology, and because it speaks of one thing but it describes a thing, it is not just one noun, but because it's more than one word, it then functions as a phrase, and it is not a sentence, because in order to have a sentence you need a subject and a predicate. That is a simple sentence. So to say folk etymology is a phrase, but if you said folk etymology is interesting, that's when you have a sentence, which is a simple sentence in its base form with a noun phrase, giving a subject and a predicate, the predicate of which describes what in the world is going on and has a verb in it, right? So the cat is sitting. So you've got the cat, the subject, and then is sitting would be your predicate, though involving either a preposition and a verb, or a whole lot of other things that function, that forms the predicate. And these things, I'm learning about them, and I'm just having such a merry time happening upon these terms, and I am realizing what is my love that I've always had. That's why I've always adored just extra words in my vocabulary and trying to use them wherever it is that I found them. And that is the reason why it was so easy for me to grasp the English language from the time when I was growing up. It is a gift that God has given me. And now today I have the luxury and the pleasure to teach it. Though I would not, of course, teach at the level that I am at. I'm going to have a hard time bringing myself down to perhaps an A1 or an A2 or maybe even a B1 level. But over time I will, of course, gain the experience. And as I gain the experience, it's just going to be so good. It's going to be so exciting for me to do this thing. Right? And one day, my hope and my pleasure is going to be helping university students like out here just slay and massacre essays. That then on that day is going to become the passion of me, helping students come up out of essays with like not merely 60%, but 75 to 80 to 90. Because when I was a first-year student at Wits University, my first ever essay that I wrote for psychology, I got 95%. I couldn't believe it. I was struck out of my mind. I had a gift. And I only found out when I was at Wits, because when I was in high school, I was biasly marked down by teachers that looked at my skin tone and imagined that because I was a black student, I couldn't possibly be proficient in English, until I got to Wits, and it became clear that I was. It became clear that I was because I slayed my essays. I just got things. I just understood them. It had, like when I was at the TEFL training course, there was this one chick there that was lamenting about Unit 3 that basically it is a lesson on phonetics. The International Phonetic Alphabet, the IPA, that thing that helps you figure out how to pronounce a word, right? And she was just out here pulling out her hairs, trying to understand this here table, this IPA table, the digraphs and everything. And I was scared because when I went to the TEFL course, the 10-hour one, that was a practical, I had yet to commence my course. So when this chick was speaking about it, I got scared too, because she was so scared. Not scared with it, she had already gone through it, but she was pulling out her hairs on something just like it. Unit 3 is ridiculous. So when I first impended Unit 3, I was scared because the one chick said that it was horrible. And so in advance, I just studied rather on the internet, because I learn better with audio visuals. When people talk and also I see their gestures and mannerisms, it's much easier for me to learn because I interact with the personality and I like hearing what they have to say. So I'm an audio visual learner, right? Yo, this like I just decided that I'm going to study the IPA, the phonetic, the table, the chart. I'm going to study it like it's I said in myself that I'm going to study it like it is the periodic table. I'm going to memorize every last element on there. Learn how many neutrons, protons are in there, learn how many electrons are there, and I'm going to memorize the symbol for it, you know, PB lead, all that jazz, AG like gold, AU silver. I am going to learn, and I'm going to know it off by heart and pass that chemistry exam 100%. But instead of it being a chemistry exam, I said to myself that if in high school I could learn the periodic table off by heart in one night and get 100% the next day at school for the test that I was writing, I need to get that international phonetic table like the periodic table. I need to know it off by heart. And I was scared that it was going to take me a million years, but it didn't. It just sat. It just rested. It just sat in me. It just rested. And the first video that I watched was of this one guy that I carefully listened to. And after him, the stuff was in my brain. So now I can look at any word in English and be able to write down for you every, what's this, the phonetic transcription, like just from off the top of my brain. And I can also read it fast. For the life of me, I've always seen the phonetic transcription next to words that because I'm always searching words. When I find a new vocabulary word, I'm always looking for it on Google to see what it means. And it's next to it, there's always the phonetic transcription. And I'd always seen these phonetic transcriptions as transcriptions. They look somewhat like the word. They do. They look like somewhat the word, but some of them are just so bizarre. Like the sound of, for instance, O is like a backward A. And for me, like, for me, I was like, well, what in the world? Like, no, that does not look like dog. That looks like dag. I could never understand what that thing was. And now I do. And for me, it's like, hey, I've been looking at this all my time. And I've been like, okay, that looks more or less like dog, but it looks more like dag, but like a backward A. But it's dog because the sound for O is like a backward A. And so I was very, very excited. I was so excited that, oh my goodness, I know this thing off by heart now. Like I know it. I know even the digraphs. I know the first, frankly, phonetic letter that I heard of as I'm busy studying through these channels on YouTube is like something called a schwa, which is like an right sound, which is the most frequently occurring sound in English. And this here's schwa sound. God even used it as a joke because I get it as I'm learning. He uses what I'm learning to even give me understanding. He's like, witchcraft in your country is as ubiquitously occurring as the schwa. I kid you not, God said that as a joke. He was like, the witchcraft epidemic in your nation is as commonly occurring and frequently found in your nation like the schwa sound in the English language. And I was like, yeah, God, okay, you've got a sense of humor. So, South Africa, your witchcraft is so bad that once I learned what the schwa sound is, backward E, God said that your witchcraft epidemic is as commonly occurring in this here country amidst countrymen, the way that the sound occurs as frequently as it does in the English language. That's how crazy you are. Nonetheless, I did digress. I did that because as I'm busy talking right now, I'm thinking about what I'm saying because I'm literally trying to go out of my way to stop speaking with all the colloquialisms that I've been speaking with, the slang, and more than anything, even the ebonics. I just want to stop speaking sloppy English. I want to stop speaking sloppy English because I just really appreciate language and I love what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm not doing myself justice and it justice by speaking so badly. At some point, I'm going to have to speak in a YouTube channel proper English and not bring forth any of these other things that I add in. Thanks. Yes, it is my personality. We get it. But if I'm going to teach English like on a serious level, I need to out here be serious. You know what I mean? So the first place to correct is here. The first person to correct is in my ministry. The first place to correct is in my ministry. And so over the months that come, hopefully I will have cleaned myself sufficiently enough to just change, okay? Like, I gotta change. I can't carry on. Yo, what you be doing over there? I can't talk like that anymore. I won't. I don't want to do it. I don't. Because I want to teach students at universities to write excellent essays like I did. I want to help them. I want that to be my service. I want to offer students an ability to be able to write some pretty excellent essays, reference well, and be set for the future as authors, as writers, as peer reviewers, as academics. I want to do that, but I can't do that without a degree now, can I? Because then I'm not going to get taken seriously. I really want to help students write academic essays, and also I am an activist against AI. Now, officially, so many students are duping systems in order to get degrees using AI that check for plagiarism. I want to encourage students that even though you can do it doesn't mean you should. Because at the end of the day, why would you want to dumb yourself down? You want to write a good novel one day. You want to be able to talk with people and be believed as an author of a book when you talk with them in person, versus them reading your book and then talking with you and realizing that you suck, but your book is good, okay? I want to inspire kids to while they can find loopholes with AI that won't get caught by plagiarism systems that check for copying. I want to train them just not to do it. One, because it's ungodly, and secondly, why would you want to do that to yourself? It's better to learn. Just know the truth. Be a truly gifted speaker. Be an actual real orator. Like, listen, cultivate the skill. Do not let AI do the hard work for you. This transhumanistic experiment on Earth, this here attempt at transhumanism is trying to invalidate the humanity of human beings and erode away at it. Frankly, precisely because they want to make human beings get to a point of saying that they're not. They want to make human beings get to a point of saying that they are not as good as AI. And so therefore they need to allow themselves to get taken over by AI in some kind of transhumanistic experiment that might maybe put a chip in your brain. I don't know. The only way to fight against the theft and the stealth against your intelligence as a human being is to fight the AI robot that is trying to mind a virus, eat away at your brains until you don't have your own intelligence. I'm telling you right now, Gen Zs and maybe even Gen Alphas of the future, it's actually fun to learn. and it's fun to be genuinely intelligent, and it's fun to genuinely acquire knowledge and genuinely impart it, share it, like exchange notes, exchange nuggets with other academics at a round table. It's fun to be smart. And it's fun to, in your intelligence, also be knowledgeable. Like, a combination of natural intelligence right next to just the acquisition of knowledge makes you a really great speaker. It's fun to be that thing. It's not enough to merely get an AI manufactured degree. Actually study, actually learn. It'll give you an upper hand in life, and God will always award grander favor to he who genuinely studied. Whether you eat, whether you drink, do it all for the glory of God. Actually learn. It's fun. I promise you. So that's what I'm, frankly, just my 2 cents worth in being an activist against AI's, the AI apocalypse that is taking universities over. My 2 cents worth is going to be trying to help students write their own essays instead of hire people to write their essays for them. There are actually services by whole entire websites that are offering university students services to write their essays for them, and then these students pay a fee for somebody else to submit a whole written work. Why would you want yourself to be the heralded, regarded, and revered author of a book when you didn't write it? Your readers are going to love your book, but you're not going to be able to have a conversation with them about your book. Just no stuff for real. Anyway, I hope that I'm going to succeed. But I did digress, I'm sorry. What I was busy talking about was all the stuff that I'm learning about South Korea, until I was just listening to myself talk, and I was like, oh, I want to fix myself and stop speaking slang. Then I spoke about that. Now we're back to the topic at hand. All right. What did I want to say? Yes, I asked the Lord, these Korean flags that I saw, and then after seeing the Korean flags, I then also saw the Japanese flag. I also saw the Chinese flag. Believe it or not, the Chinese flag, but I can't live in China. I can't go to China. I'm scared of China because of what it's done to Christians. I just don't see myself in China. But remember, I told you guys that a couple of years ago, I got all these dreams with all these Asians in my dream, and at first I thought they were Chinese, but then I concluded they were Korean because God showed me I'm going to South Korea. And then this past 2 weeks, I ought to be getting visions of the flag of, Korea was the first one I saw, and then I saw Japan, the red dot in the center of the white background, and then the stars on the red, that's China, right? The yellow stars on the red, that's China. And I was like, why are you showing me China, Korea, and Japan? I don't have a degree, and all of these countries need one. All of these countries will not even look at me twice. They won't gaze at my direction, in my direction, even in the slightest. I can't go to any of them. Why are you sending me across Asia? God, they don't want me. They don't want me. Vietnam, nobody wants me. I can only go to Cambodia, and I already expressed my concerns about Cambodia. I already did before, right? And Cambodia doesn't need a degree. Neither does Thailand. I said that I don't want to go to these countries for the reasons that I have highlighted. Religious freedoms. Japan, I would be okay there. So too, Korea, would I be okay there? China might be challenging for me as a Christian. But as an expat, I might not be as, I guess, badly afflicted as the actual underground church in China. Maybe because I would be a South African, having started my YouTube channel in Korea. In China, they're not gonna maybe clamp down too heavily on me on YouTube. But one thing I know about China is that they don't have Facebook over there because the government is crazy. So not that I would want Facebook, not that I have a Facebook, but that I cannot open some kind of globally available social media platform in a nation precisely because of how much they're clamping down on freedom of expression in that country. On that particular platform. For me, it's just so problematic. But anyway, if I were to go to China, it would be like, listen, 6 months, maybe a year. I wouldn't stay. I would only go there for the experience, just to see the Great Wall, just again, feel the rain on my skin and get my toes in the sand. But if I'm gonna stay somewhere as an expat for an extended period of time, it can only be in Japan or Korea, but not China, for the reasons that I am a very hectic Christian, okay? But I did definitely see the flag of China, and I was like, how am I gonna go to all these people? Not people, but all these places in one fell swoop. How am I gonna go there? Am I gonna be a digital nomad? But I don't have a degree. And herein lies me now coming to the conclusion, to the place of understanding what God was showing me, with me saying I don't have a degree. Remember I said that the Lord said, favor, favor, favor. I was like, favor, wait, is Korea gonna just completely ignore that it needs a degree and love me because I love you? Of course not. Right? God is pragmatic that way. He's practical. He's a God of providence. So while he's full of miracles, a lot of times the Lord operates within the pragmatic structures of this world in order to push his agenda with his people. Remember earlier I spoke about the Assyrian Empire having an axe hewn on it, swung on its trunk by Babylon. But first, the Assyrian Empire had to take Israel out. These here are practical, providential ways in which the Lord is using the world to fulfill his purposes. So it's not going to be just merely overlooked that I don't have a degree. because, oh, I have favor from God. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I know that because my life has been very, very pragmatic for years. My persecution has been a very systematic and pragmatic persecution. I have seen miracles, but they have largely been quite providentially fulfilled, in the sense that my foot did not grow back after it got chopped off, or I did not suddenly get hearing in my one ear. I only got better hearing because I got a hearing aid, and that was provided for me financially by God to get it. Anyway, that's an analogy, right? It was given me anyway. That's a metaphor. I don't have a hearing issue, right? But what I'm trying to get at is that how in the world was I going to be put in a position to be able to teach English in Korea? First, my family had to be healed. That is a miracle. I've been enduring persecution at the hands of my family for 11 years, going on 12. They are healed. And it doesn't seem to be stopping. It doesn't seem to be the problem that I have endured with them. It doesn't seem to be coming back again. They're not coughing again. My relationship with my mother has been healed. She is the reason why I even have a TEFL certificate. Well, I'm gonna get it. She paid for it. Today, when she was washing her own vehicle through a guy that washes her car, she also washed mine and it looks so spotless. But my car has been dirty for, months ago. While my mom keeps on washing hers and letting my dirty vehicle just gather dust right next to hers, she washed it because of internet connectivity in this place. And I've lamented to my mom that the Wi-Fi router in the house does not reach this side as well. So every so often stuff glitches and twitches. On this side, I asked her so very many times, months ago already, please bring the router closer or bring it to my little sister's bedroom so that I can have better connection this side. And she just didn't care. She ignored it all. I raised the issue again when I was busy doing as I'm busy doing this TEFL course. I raised it again on remember I told you that my Wi-Fi issue, like the situation with the Wi-Fi is so bad that if you were to listen to my old ministry, you would know that in order for me to upload my videos on YouTube, I would upload them first and foremost over very many days, even though internet speeds should be a lot faster than that, and they are indeed a lot faster in the house. And I would sometimes have to take my computer and put it on my wardrobe in order for it to have some kind of decent speeds to upload. Otherwise, I would have to unplug my computer altogether and move my computer to the house in order to upload my content and then bring my computer back. And I didn't want to keep on unplugging my computer. And then sometimes, if my computer is in front of me here, it would buffer in the middle of a video, and it was all very frustrating. And a lot of the videos that I would watch on YouTube from my computer would be fuzzy because of just slow internet speeds, because of how far the router is. And every so often the picture would clarify again, only to go fuzzy again. Those were the issues I was enduring. And now with me doing this TEFL course, I'm enduring the same level of glitching and twitching inside the website, inside the actual curriculum, the stuff that I'm studying. And there are videos, lots and lots of videos in there that I also have to play. And in the beginning, I was watching these videos and they were just buffering and buffering and buffering. And it was getting so frustrating to me that I ended up just reading the transcript and just getting over the video. But you see, the video in itself was very interesting because it's interactions between people. And remember, I told you that I learn audio visually better than even just merely reading. So I need the videos. If they're there, I like them. Okay. But I ended up just merely reading the transcript, and I raised it with my mom. I was like, these are the issues that I'm enduring as a result of this internet problem. Please, please do something to fix the issue. Please, wada fish paste, and etc. And lo and behold, this past 1 weekend ago, today is Saturday. Well, now it's Sunday the 14th. The Saturday that has come and gone, there was a gentleman that came here from my mom's work that works in IT that rocked up. And never mind, y'all, did I get a router closer in my little sister's bedroom to the side, okay? But I, a router closer so that, I would have better access to Wi-Fi. Never mind did I get a router closer. But what rather happened was that I was given my own Wi-Fi. I am not even lying. I was given my own router with my own password and my own everything. There's a whole router, a modem back there. The guy from my mom's company decided that he's going to rather install a brand spanking new router in here instead of moving the router that is over there to my little sister's bedroom. So I've got my own Wi-Fi. I've got my own Wi-Fi and it's in here. I'm going to prove it to you. The gentleman who did it asked me what I want my passcode to be, and my passcode is God's Cranberry. And there it is that I am plugged in to Wi-Fi, and the router, the name of my Wi-Fi is God's Cranberry. And look at how many bars there are on there. It's God's Cranberry. There it is. God's Cranberry. Y'all know that I'm Cranberry K. I have my own router right in here. And ever since then, I don't have any problems. The internet is fast. It's like my own home Wi-Fi in my own bedroom. So I don't have problems with the Wi-Fi anymore. Remember I said that if something is from God, it's going to run smoothly and swimmingly. After years, not even months, of complaining about the Wi-Fi and nothing being done. Now finally I complain about it again because of struggling to study properly, and I get my own Wi-Fi in here with my own passcode and everything, with my own router. However, the connection is the same one from the house. So the people in the house have their own Wi-Fi and I've got my own. Do you not see how God is helping my cause along? And now with me having Wi-Fi this side, what else can I do? With such fast internet in here, I can teach English online. I can teach English online from in here. I've got a desk over there. I've got a wardrobe behind the desk, the wardrobe of which is just a basic wooden color. It's plain, and that's the kind of background that they need you to have when you are studying English online. And remember I said that if something is from God, it's going to run swimmingly. Earlier this month, I asked my mom, or at the late last month, basically at the end of May, I was like, I need money to go to the Home Affairs, to try and get a passport. Because very soon I'm leaving. I'm gonna try to leave the country. And my mom just ignored that. Almost like she was saying, I'm not gonna pay for you to get a passport. And I was like, but God, you showed me that I'm moving to South Korea. And you also showed me that this is the thing. So why aren't things moving swimmingly? Why is my mom acting like this? Why is she completely ignoring the fact that I need to get a passport so that I don't delay? So I don't just waste time. When I apply for a job and I don't even have a passport in progress, or even one that I any minute now can feasibly actually have in my possession. What's going on? What then did I keep seeing? The flags of Japan, the flags of China, the flags of Korea. How am I gonna go there when I can't even get a passport? When am I gonna get a passport? I don't have money. And again, I don't have a degree. What's going on? God, why are you showing me these things? And it all just dawned on me. I was like, Karabo, what is happening? In the scriptures it is written that the lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. God, lines have been falling for me in pleasant places. Look at the relationship that's been restored. My mom has been so much better to me. She even when she washes her own car, washes mine. Even though there's yet to be anything going on with my car, it's still kind of stationary. But nonetheless, my car looks like everybody else's car in this complex. It moves at some point, or sometimes it moves, sometimes it doesn't. But it's not looking like a vehicle that's just sitting parked at an airport with nobody fetching it. And then Wi-Fi was arranged for me inside the space that I am in, my own router. So I will never ever struggle with the internet again. No more buffering and no more fuzzy videos. I've got a better relationship with family. I've got all this, but why are other things just kind of stopped dead in their tracks? So I made a conclusion that what God must be doing here is that he's saying, Karabo, you're staying in the country, South Africa, and you've got Wi-Fi in your own room. I arranged for that to be a thing while you were studying your TEFL, so that as soon as you get your certification, you will start teaching online. Just teach online and you'll see what else I do with you. So I ended up accepting that, okay, I'm going to try and teach either on Cambly or Preply wherever I go. I frankly feel like it's Preply where God is sending me, because I've seen the Preply logo a lot again in my visions. So I go where God sends me. So I'm going on Preply. I came to learn that on Preply. The first lesson, Preply takes all the money. I'm already used to teaching without getting anything in return. Apparently, you can have a whole bunch of trial lessons from students without them actually booking you. So it can take a minute for you to make any kind of money at all on Preply. But from there, going forward, unlike every other platform where you can teach English online without a degree, the sky's the limit as to how much you can charge. The sky is the limit as to how much you can charge per hour. And the most expensive, if I will call it that, teacher that teaches on Preply that also does IELTS tests in the UK charges $30 an hour. And listen, do the mathematics and also look at the South African rand exchange, dollar rand exchange, and figure out if you've got, let's say, if you're not going to exasperate yourself, you've got 5 students a day. Don't overwhelm yourself now. $30 is quite a decent amount of money to make for those students that you have a day during the week, nothing on the weekends, nothing on Saturday, nothing on Sunday, and 5 or 6 at most in the week. It's a decent, almost 9 to 5. That's almost laid back. It gives you enough time to lesson plan and enough time to give feedback, enough time to actually really take care of your students and not exasperate yourself because you're just trying to make as much money as possible. But 30 hours per dollar per hour is, of course, in the upper range, and only can you do that. And Preply takes 33% in the beginning, and over time, if you prove yourself worthy, it then becomes 15% or something, or 18 that it takes. So over time, it becomes really kind of well paid on Preply. And it's a digital entrepreneurial business that you, of course, have to now either hire a tax consultant or in yourself do your taxes if you're brave and strong and you've got muscles, but you have to pay SARS. You have to pay SARS as like a business. So those are things that you must regard and not go way in over your head and think that you're making a whole chunk of money without paying the tax man. Just regard those things, otherwise you're going to be found wanting for tax evasion. But yeah, Preply is this place that you have to treat like your own business, and I never thought in my life that I would ever need to file my own taxes and without a company automatically just taking taxes. I always thought that I would work for a corporate that just has taken care of it. But now I have to be a responsible little entrepreneur and actually pay attention to my taxes. So maybe I might hire an accountant, like I said, but I would only hire an accountant for crying out loud if I was making very decent money. Otherwise, I would try and do them myself, like Hercules. I would literally try and make like Hercules and do them myself. Okay, but that's stuff that you have to regard. The money comes in and you have to be responsible to do your own taxes. And in due season, the money gets quite significant. And I remember just thinking, if I love this thing, if I find myself happy with this thing, if I adore it, it won't feel heavy, it won't feel like a job. And I am going to love my students. And my prayer is that they're going to love me. When I was still not looking around for TEFL courses, because I didn't look for long, but just when I had newly registered for a TEFL course, I got a word of understanding from the Lord telling me, you're going to get rave reviews. Now, teachers that teach in a physical classroom rarely ever get rave reviews from students. There's only one place where you get reviews for how your work is doing. Yes, you do get KPIs, appraisals, likely in an office, not an office environment, but an actual school that you go to. You get appraisals from your teachers over there. Not teachers, what do you call them? Your bosses. Your authority figures. They will appraise you. But I don't remember when I was in school, Mina, personally, ever doing a how did I fare from 1 to 5 sheet. I don't remember signing that in school, in high school, and that actually, you know, being used in order to assess whether or not our teachers are doing well for the year. I don't remember doing that. I thoroughly don't remember doing that. So I don't think that an actual school, not that the Korean system is similar to South Africa's, but I don't think an actual school would care to cause students, especially little ones, to arguably be doing a review sheet for a teacher at the end of every lesson or at the end of every term. Unless, of course, it's like when in training. I have worked in training in corporate South Africa, where as a trainer at the end of every course, like the delegates that I was facilitating over would get like a little sheet to say, how did I do? How did you find the course? What would you rather change? That definitely was done. And students, I guess maybe they were like, didn't want to hurt me. I never ever got a lower rating score than 4 out of 5. Yeah, they always complimented me and praised me, either maybe because I was really good or they didn't want to hurt my feelings, but I never ever got a bad review when I was training in corporate South Africa. So if history has anything if history is anything to run with or to go by, perhaps maybe that's what's going to give. However, on the online space, that's where you get reviews. That's where people write commentary about you, and they don't have to. However, you can ask them, please leave a review at the end of our session over here. It'll really help me along. It'll help me if I need to improve something I want to improve. And then the students will leave it, but they don't have to. In the same way that you don't have to leave a comment on a YouTube channel. In the same way that you don't have to leave a review after using a product. In the same way that you don't have to leave a review after buying a product on Temu or on Take-A-Lot. But it goes a long way to push that particular product if reviews are really high. Because I know that I have bought products before based on just reading the reviews. So the Lord said to me that you're going to get rave reviews. So what he is saying over there is that he was basically alluding to the fact that I'm going to end up teaching online, even though initially I didn't want to. I just wanted to go straight to Seoul. Only Seoul. Initially I just saw Seoul, but now it appears Japan and let's say Korea. And now it appears Japan and apparently China, which I'm very trepidatious about. Okay. Anyway, anyhow, so essentially that's online. I saw the Preply emblem and I kept seeing it even though I was not trying to do online, because God knows what he's doing even though I don't. The Lord shows me things that are happening, and even though I don't want anything to do with them, ultimately I get to a point where I want everything to do with them. So I asked myself, the lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Remember what you said, Karabo. If something is from God, it's going to run smoothly. It's going to be like a knife through butter. You're not going to get hindrances, and you're also not going to get, never mind hindrances, but resistance from forces around you. What have you gotten resisted for so far that you have wanted pertaining your future career as an English teacher? What have you gotten resistance for? What have you gotten resistance for? And it dawned on me that I got resistance for trying to get a passport now. And then I was like, okay, very well. What haven't you gotten resistance for? What has worked swimmingly that you didn't even expect to be something that just fell on your lap? Wi-Fi right in your own room. What can you do with Wi-Fi in your own room? But better, faster working Wi-Fi when you're not even uploading content online. So it's not there to enable a YouTube channel along. Not yet anyway. Because you're not going to start a YouTube channel from South Africa. It's just not going to happen. You're going to experiment and test your thing from another country. What can you do though with fast working internet? Teach English online. What do you need? A computer, a webcam, headset, and reliable internet. You've got reliable internet, and the internet is right there at the corner. If you were to teach English, you would need to take your computer during the time when you are teaching English. Your cord is very long, So my computer, I don't have to unplug it to move it to the desk over there. I just move it because there's an extension cord that helps me move my computer easily across the room. And the reason why the cord is so long is because there was a time when I used to put my computer, like I said, on top of the wardrobe just to get Wi-Fi, or even sometimes there by the door to be closer to the Wi-Fi in order to help my content upload. Now I can upload videos at my leisure, but I have no interest in uploading videos in South Africa. So if I'm not uploading videos in South Africa, what then am I going to use this here newly beneficial thing that God has added in the room that I wanted for years, but I only got it now? Teaching English online. Take your Mac computer, move it over there, buy a webcam. My mom will help it. She will buy it. And also buy a headset. You've got a computer, you've got fast internet, and you are gonna get a webcam and headsets. What did my mom refuse to help along? It was a passport. When I first took this TEFL course, my mom found out that you can also do it online, even though she was happy to let me go. I feel like the woman is holding on to me for dear life, but I'm still gonna leave, okay? I feel as if the reason why she is just not too keen on helping my passport yet is because she wants me to experiment with online teaching. Not that I'm going to do what my mom wants me to do, because I'm a grown woman and I've endured a lot under her hands, frankly, even though right now she's better. So I want to go. However, remember, Romans 8:28, all things work out together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. If at all my mom is not enabling a cause along, and she is presently the only source of enablement, I have to realize that I have to work within what I have until I can help my own cause along. So frankly, she put fast working internet in here for the sake of helping me finish my TEFL course, but not so much for the sake of me doing English online. It was not so much to help me do English online, but she's gonna come to learn eventually that it's that. And since my mother wants me to stay in the country, though, why did you treat me like that for so long though, right? Since she wants me to stay in the country, if at all I say, okay, so I'm done with the TEFL course, congratulations, I got it, yay. I am now going to register on Preply, and I'm going to do my intro video and everything, but in order for me to do any of that, I need a webcam and I need headsets. She will either give me the money and go and buy them, but I don't think she's going to procure them herself. Like, she's probably going to give me the money, because that's the kind of stuff that somebody else cannot do for you. I mean, the TEFL course, she did it all by herself. I told you guys that, right? She'll give me the money, and I will I guess research on YouTube as to what should I get, what are the specific, what is the best thing that's going to help with this thing. Once I have the information, I will then purchase them. Okay, like I'm not going to experiment with things from Temu. In this regard, I need things that are reliably going to work out for me, though I don't distrust Temu. Their products, frankly, have done quite a lot for me, but nonetheless, I am gonna go to either Macro or Hi-Fi Corp or whatever, go clear water game, a place where I've got while you do have warranties and all that jazz, go Temu. I'm not trying to experiment with any of that. I need to be able to just walk into a store and either return a product or test it in store, like, yeah, stuff like that. So I'm gonna go to like a Macro or Hi-Fi Corp, buy the webcam and the thingy over there and the headset over there, and after that I will then do my intro video and all that jazz, and then just kind of set up Basecamp. And according to the Lord, I'm gonna get rave reviews, and it's rave reviews that ultimately get you from $10 an hour, which at this point I say to myself, if I am making $10 an hour, and I'm only working 5 to 6 students a week because I don't want to exasperate myself, and I'm off on weekends, what is the most that I'm gonna make with $10 an hour? It's not much. It's not anything at all that I ever earned, that I used to earn when I was in corporate South Africa. I think it like comes to, what is it? Like, is it 13,500 or 20 grand? Listen, stand corrected. Go do the math, please, right? If I'm making that, it's nothing. But how many of you have gotten a first job after you changed career that you broke into on that first job? That kind of salary. I remember when I was in the learnership program at Liberty Life, they paid us 3,500, 2,900 rand as a stipend. And then my first job after that one, I got 6,500, and then the next one I got 9,000. And this all happened within 1 year. Well, 2, because the learnership program was almost a year long. So I ended up,